Bird guides are very important, and it's very difficult. Like I can explain you everything on how to use a bird guide in such a short period of time. But there are some basics, like when you see a bird for classification, like how a bird is, there are some sizes. Like a bird which is the size of a sparrow can be looked in a different way. A bird which is a little bit bigger than a sparrow comes into the minor. Then a little bit more big birds come in parakeets and all that. So this is like when you see a bird, this is how you have to look into the bird. Then again, these bird guides have got very good nowadays. So you have maps like this. So for example, if you see a bird and you want to say, okay, this is bird found in and around Bangalore, so you see the bird and you check the map. So many times the bird is which you don't find in a map. So then you say, okay, it's the wrong bird, it's because it's not found in this Bangalore. So this is how it goes. And I always feel the best way to do bird watching is right outside your house. The most common birds you get in and around your backyard. Then once you know your backyard birds, which can easily range from around 5 to 15 or 20. Once you know this bird, then you can go ahead to your park or something like that, where you might see somewhere around 25 to 30 different birds. That's how you should be going, because at the very first go, if you go into a national park to see birds or something like that, it's very disheartening. Oh, it's very difficult, I can't understand all the birds. And there is something it's called as splitting. Like there are some bird watchers who just go see the bird and they like, okay, I've seen a parakeet. Then they go ahead, okay, I've seen a bulbul. So their aim is to maximum number of birds. Some of the groups in national park, and all they do is busy writing the number of birds they have seen. So their aim is just to look at a second, write it and go ahead. So this is how, but I always feel like when you see a bird, you should see properly what it is doing, how it is behaving, what type of food it is eating, or many times it is cleaning the feathers. So there is a lot of activities or behavior in a bird. All this should be enjoyed. Many times I feel like some of the most beautiful birds are the sunbirds. They are just small, and the way they move and the light hits them, it's like an alien. The color changes. All this natural phenomena is something that you should be looking in the long run. You should be enjoying. So many times, even in a national park or on a bird trail, for 3 hours, even if you're passing 500 meters or a kilometer, it's fine. You should be enjoying the view. So now today we'll do one thing. I came here for the first time. We'll just try to move around. Whatever birds we see, we'll just go through it. And every time I see a bird, I'll be showing you, as well as I'll be showing you how to look at the bird in a bird guide. So, unfortunately today, the bird guides in India are very costly. They cost from 500 to 1300, and one of the best bird guides costs around 5,500 or 6,000 rupees. The same is in case with binoculars also. It starts from 2,000 to 5,000, and a Swarovski will cost you almost 50,000. So, but at the same time, I believe like even a basic binocular which costs anywhere around 2,000 can give you pretty good bird watching. Then a group of people, if you are always going on a bird watching for a longer period of time, you can go for telescopes, which are longer things, which are more stable, and you can actually see the color and the retina of bird's eyes through telescope. So we'll start with very basic things. We'll look at the bird, look at the binoculars. There are 50 bird guides. This is research limit bird guide. So it's popularly known as limit. Then another bird guide is popular. Proper Salimali India. I personally find that for beginners, the birds of India is much more easygoing rather than directly going through this, because photographs in this book are a little bit smaller. In Salimali's book they are much more bigger. The language and the description that you see in Dr. Salimali's book is also much more easier for us to understand for the first level. And all these books are byproducts of the Book of Indian birds. So there are what we call it research handbooks. And then there is a book which is this big, in which all the birds of India, the detailed location, how they look, when they breed, and everything is given. So to start with, you can go with a basic bird guide. Another thing like one should always have is a small diary and a pen where you can note all the birds that you see. And another thing, like whenever we go out for bird watching, clothing is something which is very important. So this park is fine, but when one goes to a national park or a bird sanctuary, it should be always khakis or olive color clothes. Then many a times health and safety is very, very important in bird watching, because I know people who are so crazy after bird watching. On a weekend they'll just go without informing their family or friends. Or many times when you go into especially the forested areas or tracks, it is always better that you go in a group of 2 or 3. You should not be going alone, because it's many times in the forest or on trails you can get lost, you can get injured, you can just fall and you might hurt yourself. So you should always tell your family or friends where you are going. You should be giving them a precise addresses. Other than that, most of the national parks or bird trails, they have gates and chokis. So you should be also informing the local authorities that you are going for bird watching, because it doesn't happen here in Bangalore, but in certain places bird watchers they are looted by people inside. So health and safety is something which you should always keep in mind. Always have a water bottle, few biscuits, few 5 stars or something like that. So just nice with you whenever you go out for bird watching, especially in forest. So this is like most of the people use binoculars. So it is very important that you take care of the binoculars. So whenever after bird watching, whatever dust or water you have to go back and clean it. Otherwise, fungus grows inside the lenses, and then it is very difficult to clean it up. Then never do bird watching by holding the binocular like that. You should always have it around, because anytime you slip or something, your binoculars should not fall. Now, there are 2 types of adjustments in the binocular which is done. One is from here and one is from here. So this is basically to adjust your eye level, and this is to adjust, like once you see a bird, close and adjust. So these are some basic things like which you should follow while looking to the bird. Any questions?
What is the power of the
The best binoculars for bird watching is 8 by 40. It's very comfortable to see birds at a very good range. Then depending upon 840 is the best binoculars to buy. But you also have smaller binoculars because many a times some birds are quite close to you. And you take a lot of time in adjusting things like that. So smaller binoculars are good for that kind of bird watching. And many a time the birds are just too close. So it's better to just watch them with naked eyes rather than adjusting and taking time to watch it through a binocular. So this is some very basic things which one has to do while bird watching. Now I know a lot of people and a lot of friends of mine who started from bird watching and they went ahead to become some of the best bird photographers that we have in our country. So it all depends on how you want to pursue your hobby. And in the process, like sadly today in our country, we have a lot of bird watchers. There are around 20 or 25,000 plus bird watchers of various businesses. But this all people are just happy going to see birds, making their checklist, coming back and relaxing. There should be something like when we are doing bird watching, we should always think what better things we can do, how we can use this data for scientific or non-scientific purposes. So there are a lot of websites today on which you can put your data. Like today if you see 10 birds, you can make your own checklist on the computer, you can upload this data. So over a period of time, for example tomorrow from Bangalore, you are going to Mysore or you are going to Darjeeling. So wherever you see your birds, you can upload on this website. So species maps can be used. Probably sports like bird watching because everyone loves to do bird watching. But what we are doing to conserve bird is also something which you have to look at the longer period of time. So I'm really happy that so many people have turned out today. And maybe you can have something like the Sparrow Bird Watchers Club or something which not only goes out birds but in the long run does meaningful conservation. Now I just wanted to know how many people have binoculars. You have one. We'll go by the list. So people, those are minors. Forested areas, we never see the birds. The birds are identified by their calls. And there is two aspects to bird watching. One is identifying birds by direct sighting and one is identifying birds by calls. So getting birds identified by call is a very specialized thing and you need to know exactly which bird is calling and which you can only learn over a period of time through experiences. And I think that one of the best way to learn bird watching is to go around with good bird watchers, because in the process you learn a lot of things which is not possible going alone to do bird watching. And there is a website which is called as birdcalls.info. Or even if you type Sharad Apte bird calls on Google, website opens. It's one of the best websites in India as far as bird calls are concerned. So you hear various birds calling on that website. So today the best good thing is in India also there are a lot of websites which have a lot of resources to learn bird watching. I'll do one thing today when we go back. I'll give you a PDF which teaches how to do bird watching. Like many times you see a bird flying and you don't know whether it is a kite, whether it is a vulture, whether it is an eagle. So the best thing to do is to look at the, like, see, what you see here, it's a kite. And the best way to identify a kite is like when it is flying, the tail is forked. Did you see? The tail is forked.
Yeah.
So the best way to identify whether it's a kite or an eagle is to look at the tail. So if the tail is forked, it's a kite. Or if a tail is fan-shaped, big, it's an eagle. In the similar way, the raptors, there are other things to look at the head size and the beak size to identify. So it's all about learning how to identify birds even from a height. There are certain bird watchers, like they'll see a bird flying up, and based on the way they flap their wings or the way they fly, you can identify birds. So it's a thing that you learn over a period of time. The more you go, the more you see the colorations, the calls, and different people may have different hobbies, but this is one, like, if you get hooked to it, it's very difficult to come out. And at the same time, it is having a lot of health benefits also, because bird watching is not something you can do very easily sitting in a car or something. You have to walk a lot. One of the magnets to wildlife and birds. Like right now, what you see is flowering. And if you go to any park or anywhere where this tree is the bicycle, when you sit there, you see more than 40 of birds on the tree. Like bird trees in India has mentioned more than 45 birds which use this tree during the flowering season. And apart from birds, you will see langurs, monkeys, others. That is a flow. So you will see all the wildlife in a forest, cotton tree. You will see langurs feeding, and whatever flowers they are dropping, you will see a lot of deers coming and eating the same. So when I was in Kaziranga, I saw a huge cotton tree, and we were observing it from a height. So we saw around 25 species of birds on that tree. There were around 2 species of monkeys and 3 species of deer. And we were there almost for 2 hours. So we almost heard the alarm calls of the deer because a tiger or a leopard was in and around that tree. So in nature, like a tree and everything is dependent on each other. So what we were talking yesterday, like it's very important that we plant native trees. This tree is native to India. So you have to keep on planting trees which are native to our country. Because the birds of our country would depend upon those. Let's see. What you can see up is a nest. Can you see? Yeah. The crows, that is still over there. No. Another very unique part of the bird life. Different types of nests and bird species. Nests right from their saliva with certain, like most of the parakeets, hornbills or other birds, they make cavity nesting. Cavity, like in a tree, when a branch falls, like see what you can see certain holes there. So this type of holes or cavities are generally used by small birds like copper-snip barbets and other things. So again in the cavity nesting, there are 2 types of nests. One are the, let's see there, water birds are easy to see. We'll go there.
ಫ್ರೂಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು
Around 20 meters or so, and you see wood spiders which are this big. So it's like thing. And many a times it's not only important that you identify every insect or you identify every flower or something like that. It's just important that sometimes you only enjoy the beauty of what it is seeing. And over a period of time, you learn the name, you learn everything. But you should not be just, oh, I didn't understand any words, I didn't understand any flowers, I don't know the names. It's a very negative feeling which creeps up. Because I can even, no one can identify all the birds, all the insects. The best thing today is like on a lot of the e-groups, you can even take a photograph, post it or write, okay, I saw a bird which was like this, I saw a flower which was like this. And people are so helpful, they will give you an answer within minutes. It mainly depends on the point of time you come to see the birds. Early morning.
They all come up.
One forest is different from the other. One place is where it's present. Like see, they keep on preening their feathers. Like when you see they preen their feathers, so like how we comb our hair. So they try to keep their feathers in prime condition. And kites, like the normal kites today, they are much of a scavenger.
There is some, traditional belief
Yeah.
You see, this one it is good. And if you see the normal kite, it is not good.
Everybody you see is good.
No, no, I'm just
Like I
just
got
saying
that
what is the average.
even in our country there is so much amount of myths about
Correct,
owls and all that.
correct.
Vultures, owls.
But with respect to its habit and then
Actually, see, I don't know like how things came up because owl is the vehicle of Lakshmi. It's beautiful connection like. Kites also many times when they are immature, they are in their early stage, the tail is not well developed.
here it is like this one.
This one is not, this
Not
is
convex.
style.
This is convex. I mean, this
The flower and the fruit of champa will get lot of.
you have a lot of temper trees.
It also takes protection, money, and something like that. So whenever they bring any food, they drop.
Oh, yellow bird.
Get something of it.
Yellow one.
Oh, see, so many of them. Yeah, they go around in hunting parties, what they are called.
Oh.
So many times, again, a very funny thing, like you see a green-colored bird, which is just sitting, and all of a sudden its flies come back. So you say, what a stupid bird, why it is doing like that? But it keeps on flying and catching small insects, flycatchers, bee eaters.
Which bird is that?
So that's our one. When you can't even take a seed inside.
You can't take.
A seed inside. Today or tomorrow I'll just sit and because it's almost done, so certain things specifically with the designer. Very low. You can see without
Oh, we didn't see a parrot today.
just have to I can all go in a group now.